Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is 413 Sports Talk, and I'm your host, Rahim Escalay. Stopping by to chat with us is a young man who plays two of the game's most important positions. Some say his hands are like glue and his feet are like rockets. Westfield, Mass's very own William Brewster. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Almost definitely. You go hard on every snap, offense and defense. Where does your love of football come from?
Um, I actually didn't start playing until I got into high school, and I hadn't really paid attention to football before. I'd kind of just watched it here and there, but then once I tried it, I was I really liked playing it because I'd always played baseball all my life, and I like baseball, but I was I needed to do something more fast paced, and I guess I just enjoy doing a sport where I can run around constantly.
Awesome. I'm just curious, what position did you play when you would play baseball?
I was a pitcher mostly.
Awesome. I love pitchers, man. The sinkers, the curveballs. Were you able to master that? What was that pitch? The Tim Wakefield knuckleball?
No, I tried. We had a kid on my team that I played with he could throw a knuckleball when he was in middle school, but I could never really get the hang of it.
It's a difficult pitch. You risk getting shelled a lot throwing that one anyway, so we'll just throw that one out. You play both positions very well, both being the cornerback and wide receiver. Which one is your favorite and why?
A receiver, for sure. I like offense more because you know where you're going, and then the defense doesn't. So
right,
you get to do more.
Sorry, yeah, it creates that bit of mystique. That's awesome. On your junior season highlight tape, you probably ran the sickest back shoulder route I've ever seen. Literally, dude. You came out. You came off the line. You were running. A guy was staying with you for a little bit, and then you that beautiful cutback, and he went freaking at least another 6 or 7 yards down the field, and it was extremely noticeable. When did you become so good at route running?
I still see things, and I still got to get better at certain things, but I've been coached very well, and then this summer I started to take it more serious. I worked with this guy named Evan Graham who coaches the receivers at Westfield State, and I just worked with him as much as I could, and then practiced a lot of on my own.
Right. In your opinion, what qualities make a great receiver, and which one of the qualities do you possess?
I think the qualities probably are good. I think good hands is really important. A lot of guys they think that speed matters a lot, and it does, but the ball's not always going to be thrown perfectly to you, so you have to adjust sometimes. So I think I'm pretty good at that. I have definitely need to be more consistent as far as that goes, but I think that's one of those qualities that's overlooked, is being able to adjust no matter where it's thrown.
Most definitely, and that is another observation I made that I made with watching the entirety of your tape on Huddle, is that in different instances when I saw the defensive back coming to put a lick on you, it's you had a feel. You have a feel for what's around you, and you made the adjustment as he was coming in to make the tackle, which ended up in him whiffing and you continuing on to score a touchdown. Awesome stuff. Dude, coaches preach this all the time from their wideouts, and you do it so naturally. And the scary thing is you're going to get better. If you know what I mean? The sky's the limit as far as that's concerned. You create separation instantaneously. What is the thought process for you moments before the ball snaps?
Well, I used to not do it as much last year because I was still learning, a lot of things. But this year especially, it's lining up. I'm seeing just all right. I'm trying to figure out what coverage they're running first,
Right.
and then it'll and then where's the guy? Is he inside of me? Is he outside of me?
Mm-hmm.
Is he standing where I need to be? It'll determine whether or not I what I'm gonna do.
Right.
So I just need a checklist in my mind that I go through as fast as I can.
Most definitely. And would you say kind of like your mastery of the playbook and things, other different ways you prepare would that factor into that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like once you know the playbook, and then I try to study all the different parts, because sometimes I play in the different spots that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing that, and then knowing, okay, I might not have to run as fast on this one because he's looking at this guy first, because you don't always want to go too fast through it. If I know what other people are doing, then I know what I should be doing most of the time.
Right, a distinct advantage that you wideouts use. In your opinion, who's the greatest wide receiver of all time?
I know some people will say Jerry Rice, but I never really watched him when I was growing up. My three, I don't know. I want to say my three favorite players to watch growing up were Michael Crabtree, Calvin Johnson, and then Antonio Brown has always been my favorite player. Ooh. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I like AB, and I think he's great with cuts, man, and he has good hands too. Calvin Johnson, probably if he didn't stop, would have been one of the best one of the best wideouts of all time. Definitely worthy of a Hall of Fame nod. But as you know, in Detroit, man, they got a weird way of ruining people's careers. Mm-hmm. Matt Stafford fortunately got out because he got traded to the Rams. Yeah, that's awesome, Calvin Johnson. I like that answer. What do you like the most about playing cornerback?
Cornerback, I like, I don't know, there's a lot of things to like about it, but I would say probably just making a good play or something. Just because, there's so many times that you can have good coverage or whatever, and they still end up catching the ball just because that's how it is. But then when you make a good play, then it sort of, gives you that confidence boost.
Most definitely. You're the defender. You're stopping that wide out from making a catch. You're stopping him from scoring a tud. And you're the last line of defense back there in that secondary. What is your role? This is a situational question here with plays and stuff. What is your role as a cornerback in a cover three? And what do you do to ensure that you don't get beat deep?
My role is to make sure I don't get beat deep. So I would usually just start the way we had it last year. I'd start 7 yards off and then a little bit inside, and then we would just play bail coverage. So they want us to get back deep at first, and then just stay there, and then unless if they ran the ball, then you could move up. But they wanted us just staying deep most of the time, just make sure nothing happened.
Eyes always on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. You are a consistent wrap-up tackler. Where'd you learn this technique, and what do you do to maintain it?
Well, I don't know. It kind of just happened when we got into the game, and then just listening to what the coaches told me to do. I was I'm gonna just try to do exactly what they told me to do. Just stay low, and then I usually just keep my eye on their legs or their hips to make sure I don't get juked out or something. Just stay in front of them.
Most definitely. I noticed some snaps that I saw you in defensive back. You're very good at keeping the play in front of you, and I like the way that and this might come from good coaching or whatever, or just maybe your own ability. I like the way that I like your stance coming out of the snap. As you kind of mentioned it earlier before, it's the way you stand and the way your hips are positioned, the way everything, it moves so fluidly. um, is textbook. And you know, you see, I've observed many a corners at the high school level, and there are some guys that are just standing straight up, like, you know, some of the hybrid defenders do on the Patriots defense. And you're always, you know, it's fluid motion, shoulders, hips, everything is all your movements are good. And I rarely saw you get beat. And as I said, you made a lot of great wrap up tackles. You Are there any present cornerbacks that you would model your game after, that people could say that you play like?
Um, I don't know, not really. I never really even started to like look at defensive film until like this past year.
Okay.
You know, I always, because I'm more of like an offensive guy. I like offense more. But you know, some of the guys that I watch from time to time just to make sure I'm like, you know, I'm like, oh, like maybe I should try this or do this better. I like Stephon Gilmore just because like plays for the Patriots. I like him, and I like how I didn't really know like what to do with my hands and stuff at first, because there's like a certain way you need to punch some coverages. So I liked how he follows the person around and then waits for them to like declare which way they're going. I kind of try to do that more.
Most definitely. Yeah, Stephon Gilmore is an incredible talent at the cornerback position. I'm sorry. Nice guy to look after when you're kind of looking through those pros tapes and seeing what works and what doesn't. You guys had a tough game against Holyoke this past week. Mm-hmm. In practice, and I know it's early in the week, but in practice, what have you guys done, or what do you think you guys can do to fix the issues?
Just practicing with more intensity and just eliminating, like, you know, like you can't be like dropping balls in practice, and like, you know, I'm definitely a victim of that too. Because, you know, if you drop balls in practice, you're going to drop balls in games. And also just executing the game plan better, you know, not having mental, you know, I had mental errors. A lot of us had a lot of mental errors that happened, and that's pretty much what, you know, cost us winning the game.
Right.
Because it was actually a close game until we just started to like let it go, and there were a lot of missed opportunities there.
Yeah, a little late there in the third quarter. I noticed Holyoke started to pull away. Mm-hmm. But it's great that you can sit there with that self-evaluation and know what you need to work on and get right back to it, get right back to working and fixing the problems. It's a mark of a great football player, honestly. Let's see. You guys have a big home game against Agawam this week. Mm-hmm. What can we expect from William Brewster and the Westfield Bombers?
I'm not sure yet, because we're going over we haven't completely gone over our game plan yet, but yeah. I don't know. Hopefully we'll take some shots. That's definitely something that we just need to get better. Like chemistry with like me and the quarterback is throwing shots deep, because that's really what, you know, gives our team momentum.
Most definitely. I agree with you with taking those deep shots. I watched Agawam. I watched their secondary against West Springfield last week, and I saw guys constantly go to the air. Now I understand that game plans differ from week in to week out, but I noticed the secondary, just as all of them, the starters, kind of play back on their heels a little bit. It's kind of like, you know, how would I describe it? Almost like this, every one of them is thinking, oh my God, we're about to get beat deep. And you know, when you have that in your head too much, that's usually what happens, or you don't focus on some of the other little things, and a guy will beat you on a slant for a touchdown, or, you know, a little hitch route or something like that. So, but I really think you guys have the advantage, especially going to the air this week.
Definitely. You know, they're gonna like we watched the film yesterday for the first time. They're definitely going to be playing back deep a lot, you know. So we can I feel like we could probably just hit them with short passes over and over and over again.
The absolute little short dink and dunk screen.
And then, you know, every once in a while, all you got to do is just, you know, make someone miss and then just take it in.
Take it to the house, exactly. Last but not least, I heard you mention Stephon Gilmore and the Patriots. As far as professional sports is concerned, what teams do you support?
The Patriots, of course. I'm a New Englander, and then I kind of got into watching then I like the Bills and the Buccaneers are like my two side teams. The Buccaneers just because Tom Brady moves, and then Buffalo because Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are also two of my favorite current players.
Yeah, Josh Allen. I'm a Packers fan. Josh Allen last year, the way he played, he almost beat out Rodgers. It was close. And Mahomes and him and Rodgers, that MVP race. But the sky's the limit for him. Bills Mafia. I think they are going to do some damage going forward for a very long time. Patriots and Belichick. I want to see them draft Justin Fields with that 15th pick. Belichick is yet to move up or trade with anybody. But then again, we still have about 16 days till the draft, so anything can happen within the next 2.5 weeks. So that's what I think is going to happen there. Ladies and gentlemen, this was 413 Sports Talk. I want to thank William Brewster for his time on the show. I appreciate it, man. I wish you all the best of luck going forward.
Thank you.